Hey everyone, Electric Shamanist here, and here in snowy Fargo, North Dakota. So I thought about recording this over Zoom with my cool new logo in the back as a sigil to um to set the scene, but I wanted to give you behind the scenes real life on this last day of 2025 before we move into 2026 together collectively. So, I had a major realization recently, and it happened, I think it was yesterday. It's kind of like ginormous remembering slash reawakening. So, I just moved to Fargo from Montana. I was in Montana for a year. And before Montana, I was in Colorado for 7 years. And I thought Colorado was my forever place. And one day, after 2 years of really struggling there in all sorts of ways, I kind of had this breakdown moment under some full moon eclipse. And I was shown this vision of yo, Colorado's breaking up with you. It's been trying to break up with you, but in a really passive aggressive way. So I was like, okay, I can take a hint. And I'm just like, well, if not Colorado, where am I going? Where am I supposed to bring all the healing magic that I have? And it's like, well, not here. No. But basically it was like, well, you have a retreat, a women's retreat you're doing with your girlfriend in this later this fall. So just go on a road trip, drive across country, Hudson Valley, do the retreat, decompress, and then you'll get further instructions. So this is what happens in the conversation when I surrender and I listen. And this is part of a bigger formula that I uncovered a year ago. That yesterday I realized, I'm like, wait, I need to do it again. So I followed this formula. It brought me all the way to the East Coast, made some incredible connections, wonderful opportunities I had out there. And then by the time the retreat was done, I was like, where are we going next? And I heard Montana. And I was like, I've never been there. You expect me to move to a place I've never been to before? I heard, do you trust? I'm like, well, yeah. No, when I hear, I'm hearing source. I'm hearing God. I'm hearing my divine spiritual team. And I was like, okay, yes, I trust because you've always pulled through for me. I do have some requirements in exchange for this trust. You have to find me a place to live that's on Airbnb. And that's in my budget and that's by the water because I've never experienced living by the water before and I want to have that experience. I heard, okay. And so I forgot about it. I started doing some research about different areas of Montana, looked on Craigslist, pulled some tarot cards, did some little spreads to check out the energies of each town. And I was pointed towards Polson, Montana, which is right on Flathead Lake. So I found a seasonal rental there and off I went. So once I got to Polson, I was just like, what's next? Who do I talk to? Where do I go? I just kept tuning in and asking and trusting, and everything fell into place so beautifully that within, I want to say my second week there, I was like, I'm going to take this process to the dating apps. Because I had already set my intention before I left Colorado that I'm no more dating. I want to meet the person who's going to be my husband. So got onto the dating apps, set that intention, adjusted my bio, my profile accordingly. And within 3 days of being on the apps, I met Jacob, who is my husband now. So you're just like, oh my God, why wouldn't you do this all the time? Well, we're human and we forget. So here I am, freshly moved to Fargo, North Dakota because of my husband's job relocation. And because it's a move that was due to my partner and not something that I tapped in and was just like, where do you want me next? I believe that God, source, universe, whatever you want to call that higher power, places us where we're meant to be, even when we're with another person. So I was like, okay, I'm meant to be here. And my default mode usually is going into strategy, logic. I'm a double Gemini. So Gemini Sun, Gemini Rising. So I get very heady about things. So I start going to strategy and like, okay, where do I go? I want to rent space. I want to do digital sound bath healing things. Like I want to do, like I'm ready. And then I started getting really stressed out. I started feeling terrible, feeling really tired. And I was just like, what the hell? And, you know, we are in that liminal space between last year and next year. So I let all the emotions move through me. And then finally I surrendered and I was just like, okay, I'm listening. What am I supposed to be doing right now? And I heard very clearly nothing. This is a forced vacation. We're in an Airbnb now here, and in a week's time, we're going to be moving into another place that's going to be our home for the next year. So it's like you are in vacation time from now until your next moving day, which is on January 11th, Portal Day. So I was like, okay, I'm chilling. Like, I heard your rest, you're recalibrating, you're regenerating, no thinking of strategy, no planning. Like, just take really good care of yourself and just listen. This is a receiving time for you. And I was like, that feels so much better than trying to strategize and plan and hustle and all that stuff. So it's like, word, got it. And since I've decided to do that process again, life has gotten incrementally better. And I tap into this process all the time. Even down to like my alarm went off. I don't need to get up immediately for anything. Do I need more rest? I hear yes, I go back to sleep. So I've broken down this process. Where are we at so far? Cool. I've broken down this process into a word. Each letter means part of the process. I forget, there's a term for that. But slay, S-L-A-Y. So this process that I use is soften, which means slow down, soften. Second step of the process is listen. Okay, you're listening to source, you're listening to your higher self, you're listening for guidance. Third step is aligned action. And sometimes aligned action looks like just allowing, like, do I do this? No. Okay, leave it alone, right? Stop trying to control shit. So A is aligned action. Sometimes it's allow. And the last step of the process is you. Or Yeshua. I'm using Yeshua for the name of Source God, Creator. So it's you and Yeshua. Slay is my process for 2026. And I'm feeling called to share this process with a few more videos to show how I use it personally as a midlife creative healer, guide, seer, multimodality, coach, guide, all that stuff. I'm 48, and this process has been so hugely helpful in like undoing of all like strategy brain and logic and all that stuff, like really allowing me to really truly tap into source. And I use this process for all sorts of things, even with my secret synth subliminals, in terms of like what theme are we going with next, what tool does the collective need next. So if this process sounds interesting for you and you're enjoying the information I just gave you, please hit subscribe and hit the like button. And I will be back in the new year, breaking down the first letter of Slay and like how to go into that process of softening. It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm so happy that you're here. Again, my name is Winter, also known as Electric Shamanist. I'm a sound code healer and rebirth guide and coach for midlife female creatives and corporate escapees. And I will see you soon. Ciao.